Today we are touring what, in my opinion, is one of Louisville's most beautiful, elegant, and luxurious neighborhoods. Today we find ourselves in Indian Hills, Kentucky. It is known for its beautiful tree-lined streets, its historic homes, and its close-knit community feel. Now, this neighborhood is located just minutes from downtown Louisville. I'm going to talk to you about the pros and cons, real estate, schools. I'm even going to take you on a driving tour of this beautiful neighborhood, and then we're even going to jump on the map together so you understand where everything is located. My goal by the end of this video is that you would know everything you need to know about living in Indian Hills, Kentucky. Hey, my name is Katie Skeen, a realtor here in Louisville, Kentucky. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about some of the pros of living in Indian Hills. The first is that you have such a high quality of living in this area. When you see in the driving tour just how beautiful these streets are, you are going to be amazed. They have lush, mature green landscapes. Oh, it's sunny today. A lot of people have beautiful landscaping on their home. They keep up their homes really nicely. A lot of them are actually located further back from the street, so you have a little bit bigger lots than what you experience in some other neighborhoods. I think it's just lush and tranquil, and you feel transported into another reality here. It's just the epitome of luxurious living. Another thing that contributes to its high quality of living is the crime rate. Now, everybody wants to live in a neighborhood that's safe. We all value our personal safety. I know when I was relocating here to Louisville, I was really concerned about that. One of my favorite resources when it comes to assessing the safety is a website called crimegrade.org. It has a system where it's like green, yellow, and red in various shades of those colors. The Indian Hills is going to be green, which means overall it has a less incidence of crime in comparison to other areas. The community has a really rich historical feel. The residents of this community care a lot about its history, its culture, its heritage. They're keeping up their homes, they're keeping them well maintained, and it just contributes to the overall community sense in this area. So one of the biggest pros of Indian Hills in comparison to some of its other similarly priced neighborhoods is location. But it is really true that this location cannot be beat. If you work in downtown Louisville, or if you're wanting an easy commute to downtown, if you want easy access to shopping, malls, entertainment, restaurants, all the things, then definitely this is a neighborhood you're going to want to consider because the location in terms of convenience cannot be beat. As far as some of the amenities and recreational opportunities close to Indian Hills, the first that I want to know is Louisville Country Club. Now, if we learn a little bit more about the history of Indian Hills, you'll find out that this country club is really an important part of its history for this neighborhood. But Louisville Country Club is right here located right within inside of Indian Hills neighborhood. A lot of the residents are going to be members there. That contributes to the community feel and opportunities to build relationships. It's one of Louisville's most prestigious country clubs. They have golf, tennis, swimming, social events, and so much more. Another interesting note is that Locust Grove is a historical estate located right next to Indian Hills. It's a beautifully preserved 18th century mansion. It's actually open to the public. You can tour the grounds. They have different educational opportunities for both adults and children. The estate was built in 1792. It has over 55 acres of walking tour, beautiful lush gardens. You can take a tour of the historic site and mansion itself. This is an opportunity to discover Kentucky's rich history right here in Louisville, Kentucky. Other amenities that we'll get into when we get into the map tour is that you're very conveniently located to all the best shopping, whether that's grocery or boutiques or clothes or the malls. I'm going to show you where all that stuff is when we get to the map tour so that you'll truly understand how convenient of a location this is. And then, of course, there's so many great restaurants located right near here. If you've watched any of my videos at all, you know that I'm a foodie and I love to go out to eat. If you love to eat out too, you got to comment below and tell me some of your favorite spots to eat here in Louisville, Kentucky. But I absolutely love all of the restaurants located around here, and I'm going to point out some of my favorites to you on the map tour later in this video. I'm going to take you on a driving tour of Indian Hills here just in a second, but before we do that, I wanted to tell you what a privilege it is for me to highlight these different Louisville neighborhoods and to create these videos for you. I hope you found them to be helpful, but one thing I love even more than making these videos is actually helping people just like you relocate or move within the Louisville, Kentucky area. I get calls, texts, emails, Zoom invites from people just like you every single day, and it's absolutely an honor and a privilege to be able to help you. So please reach out. My contact information is located right below in the description. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Just send me a quick text and we can talk more about what it would look like to help you pick the perfect neighborhood for you in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, before we jump into all the real estate information that you need to know about Indian Hills, I want to give you a brief overview and history of the neighborhood. As of the 2020 census, there were 2,860 residents in Indian Hills, and there are just under 1,200 single-family homes in the area. Indian Hills was officially incorporated as a city in 1999, where several of the smaller little sections joined together to form what we know as Indian Hills today. But the homes and the architecture actually date all the way back to the early 20th century. Some of the homes were built as early as 1920s. The architecture styles include colonial, Georgian, and some more modern architecture as well. The neighborhood is actually named after its original settler, John Veach. He owned the Indian Hill Stock Farm, and it was Kentucky's largest horse farm at the time. He owned over 300 acres of land as of 1805, and his family owned that land all the way into the early 20th century. In 1911, the family actually contracted with the Olmsted brothers, the same guys who designed Central Park in New York City, and they've done a lot of the city planning for us here in Louisville in our local parks. But they partnered up with the Olmsted brothers to develop what is the original Indian Hills area today, that section. And they developed this community plan based on the neighborhood as well as the country club and golf course. There are actually 2 homes in the area from this time period that are on the National Register of Historic Places. Of course, this area continued to be developed all the way up until the 70s, and you can definitely tell in the different sections. When we do the driving tour, I'll make sure to label which section is which, but each section has its own feeling of time period, and you can tell as you're moving further out east in the neighborhood that the homes were built at a later time point. So we'll take a drive through the original section, which is Indian Hills. We'll drive through the Indian Hills Cherokee section, and then the newest section is actually Winding Hills, and that's the most affordable part of the neighborhood. Let's talk a little bit more about real estate in the Indian Hills neighborhood. Now, you're going to find homes that range in price from $450,000 all the way up over $3 million and everything in between. Obviously, it depends on the size of the property and which part of the neighborhood it's in. Now, you're going to find that most of the properties sit on close to a half acre, but some of them are up a little bit higher towards an acre. The neighborhood has a very secluded and private, tranquil feeling. When I ran the numbers for the housing market statistics for Indian Hills, we are filming this video in August, so these numbers are up to date as of July of 2024. Year to date for 2024, the median list price of a home in Indian Hills is $625,000, whereas the median sale price this year is $628,000. The median days on market for a property in Indian Hills was 6 days. The median sales price is actually up 1.05% in comparison to last year at this time. If we take a look at the sales history of listed properties from the last 90 days, this is what I found. The highest priced home sold for $1.65 million. It had 5,874 square feet, 3,674 above grade and 2,200 below grade. It was a 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath home. The lowest priced house that sold in the neighborhood was $450,000. It had 2,200 above grade square feet and 1,200 below grade. A total of 3 bedrooms and 3 full baths. And I will note that this $450,000 priced home was really a total fixer-upper. Like, you were gonna have to go in, somebody purchased that home, they're gonna completely renovate it and turn it into one of these luxury homes that we see in Indian Hills all the time. So this gives you a little bit of idea about the real estate in the area. It is at the upper end of the price point for Louisville, Kentucky. It's well above our median sales price for Jefferson County. These houses are not staying on the market very long. It is a competitive neighborhood because it's so exclusive, because the inventory is low. We don't have as much inventory coming up in this neighborhood all the time. So when they do come up, there's plenty of people that want to live in Indian Hills and will jump at the chance to put an offer in on one of those homes. We talked about how in 1999, some of these smaller areas combined to make what is Indian Hills, Kentucky today. So it's an odd shape, but I want to zoom out to give you an idea of exactly where this is located within our city. So here we have it right here, that it's located relatively close to downtown. So or maybe you don't know if you're new to my channel, we have two outer belts here in Louisville. The first one is an inner one, and it's called 264. Locals refer to it as the Watterson Expressway. Indian Hills is located right here inside of the Watterson Expressway. So one of the themes that we're going to keep talking about is how closely located this is to everything, how close it is to all the amenities. That's because it is located within that inner expressway. The outer expressway is 265. That's this one here. I'm having a little trouble with my pencil. 265, and that's called the Gene Snyder. So we are well within the Gene Snyder Expressway, and even closer than that, we're within 264 or the Watterson. So you can see that Indian Hills comes all the way up here to the Ohio River. So as Louisville is located, it's a river city. It's located on the Ohio River, and that Ohio River is our border right between Indiana and Kentucky. So you're going to be close to the water when you're living in Indian Hills if you like to boat, or like any of those recreational activities down at the river. One of the things we're going to just continue to talk about with this neighborhood is how conveniently located it is. If you're living in Indian Hills and you work downtown, it's going to take you hardly any time to get there at all. When we bring up the map here, we can tell it's saying it's 17 minutes, but it's saying that it takes about 10 minutes. So you can expect anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to get downtown, depending on the traffic, of course. You have really easy access for Indian Hills to just come right down to Zorn Avenue, which is our road right here that will lead you up and has an entrance onto Interstate 71. So when you think about access to Indian Hills as far as our interstates are concerned, we have really easy access several ways to the different interstates. So right here we have 71. 71, of course, takes you all the way up to Cincinnati, Ohio, but you can access 71 via the Watterson Expressway. You come up here and you get on 71, or the way they just showed us when we were looking to instructions to downtown, you can come up Zorn Avenue to get onto 71 and then on to downtown. So either way, you're really conveniently located. And then, of course, if we zoom out here a bit, I want to show you Brownsboro Road. 42 is this road right here. It's actually Brownsboro Road. It splits here and Brownsboro continues this way. 42 continues up on towards Prospect in Oldham County. But that is a local road that's going to take you in a lot of different directions that you might want to go. So as you can see, as far as accessing the major interstates, as far as having an easy road to travel on, you are really conveniently located. You can easily access downtown. You can get around to lots of places in Louisville very quickly because of this convenient location. So there's a couple of different entrances into the neighborhood. One of them is on Rudy Lane right here. So if you're in that Winding Falls part of Indian Hill, you're going to come in right here on Rudy Lane. You can see it's by the Fresh Market and the Panera. Here's your Indian Hills sign right over here. Oh, we can't see it too good. Our Indian Hills sign is right here, but you're coming in on Rudy Lane, really convenient access. Rudy Lane is going to be your closest to the Watterson Expressway and all of the stuff over here on the other side of the interstate. So you come in right here on Rudy Lane. Another one of your main entrances is going to be right here on Travoy. So you're going to have a couple of really easy access into the neighborhood. Okay, let's talk about where you're going to shop if you live in this neighborhood. So a lot of people want to know about the conveniently located grocery stores. Now, right outside of your neighborhood, you have this little spot called Fresh Market. If you're not familiar with Fresh Market, it is a really nice boutique kind of shopping experience. Oh, this is a video. So they have a really great deli. They have $5 sushi on Wednesdays. They have fresh flowers, obviously really great meat and produce selections. They have gourmet candies. It's just a really nice little market. You're not going to be able to do all of your grocery shopping there, but you definitely can get a lot done. Now, there's a couple of different Krogers that you can access from this area. You've got one up here, but I think the one that you're probably going to want to go to is this St. Matthew's Kroger. You're going to access that. You come out of the neighborhood and on Hubbard's Lane, you're just going to come right down Hubbard's Lane to get to your Kroger. You also have Target in this area and a neighborhood Walmart. For those of you who are not familiar with neighborhood Walmarts, it's a Walmart that only sells groceries. I didn't know that until I moved to Louisville, Kentucky. So you're going to have really easy access to these different places. Let's go ahead and put this to the Target test and just see exactly how long it's going to take us to get to Target if you live in Indian Hills. It says it takes 6 minutes. It's 2.3 miles. Very easy access to Target, to a nice Kroger, and then to the neighborhood Walmart as well. Another place that you might want to shop if you're living in Indian Hills is Whole Foods. Whole Foods is located in St. Matthews, right near the mall. This says that it's 11 minutes. They're recommending that you take Chenoweth Lane to be able to get down to Shelbyville Road. So a lot of you know that, as I showed you before, we've got Brownsboro Road here. That's one of our main roads. And then Shelbyville Road goes all the way out to Shelbyville, Kentucky and beyond. That is going to be a road that you're going to use to access a lot of different places in Louisville. And like I said, the Whole Foods is right down here in the mall area of St. Matthews. So I'm going to zoom in here and then I'm going to take this away, but here is the Mall of St. Matthews right here. Here is Oxmoor Mall right here. Of course, you've got the Whole Foods in that area. And then over here, let's see if I can find it for you all. In the Shelbyville Road Plaza right here, we've got a lot of your favorites. We've got Trader Joe's. Okay, so when you think about food and the access to all of the best grocery stores in Louisville, you are within 5 to 7 minutes of some of our main grocery stores and some of the really nice boutique ones as well, like the Fresh Market. Okay, so what other kinds of food and shopping do you have available to you? Like I said, right outside of the neighborhood, you have this little shopping plaza here. In the shopping plaza, you have a Fresh Market right here. You have Panera Bread here. And then you have a couple of other little stores in here. Oh yeah, C&D Nails. Love that place. So I actually do go to this C&D Nails. It's really convenient. It's really fast. I think they do a good job in there. You've got some other, I think there's a yoga studio in here. You've got a couple of other little stores here. And this is right outside of your neighborhood. There is another shopping plaza on this side of Brownsboro Road. And then if we come all the way down here, down by Mesh, here we go. If we come just a little bit further down Brownsboro Road, we have this restaurant called Mesh, and this has a shopping plaza as well. Mesh is a restaurant that I think a lot of people in Indian Hills like to go to. It has a little bit of a nicer atmosphere, delicious food. They have an outdoor place that you can eat as well. So this has been around for several years, maybe 7 to 10 years. It's been around as far as I can remember. It's just a nice spot that you can go eat if you live in this area, very conveniently located, good cocktails, all the things that you would want. And then also over here in this shopping plaza, we have a couple of just smaller boutiques. There is a really nice Monkeys. Okay, if you like to shop at boutiques for clothing, Monkeys is a really great one to try. They have wonderful staff. They have really cute outfits. They'll help you put it all together. So if you like to shop, that's an area, a little boutique right outside your neighborhood that you might want to try. Okay, as far as other shopping is concerned, relation to Indian Hills, like I said, the malls are right here. And then you're also going to have really easy access to these two different areas. You've got Westport Village, which is right here on her lane. And you've got all different kinds of restaurants and shops in here. So there's Wild Eggs, Comfy Cow, Steak and Bourbon. There's a Qdoba and a Boomba's Pizza. There's a Mexican restaurant. They have all of these different restaurants. It's just this little outdoor mall. And then they've got a lot of boutiques as well. So they have several women's clothing boutiques, Darling State of Mind. They have a Pure Bar. There's a tennis store in there. Toonies is located over here. So really easy access to Westport Village from Indian Hills. And then the other shopping plaza that's even closer is going to be up here. Where did it go? Off Brownsboro Road. Now, Grassa Grama is supposed to be an amazing restaurant. And just to remind you, Indian Hills is right here. And we're just going to come up Brownsboro Road to get to this little area, the Holiday Manor Shopping Plaza. In the Holiday Manor Shopping Plaza, we, of course, have a Kroger. That's going to be smaller than the St. Matthews one that I pointed out earlier. Conhuevo's Breakfast. You've got Heine Brothers Coffee, KFC. There's a little children's consignment store in here called Slugger Kids that I actually really like. Grassa Grama gets wonderful reviews. I have actually never been there, but people tend to really like it. They are known for their Italian food. Look at the atmosphere. It feels like you've been transported to Italy, obviously, but then, oh, you're actually in the strip mall. Just kidding. So that's Grassa Grama. And then one of my favorites of all times is Mojitos Tapas. So if you live over in Indian Hills, you're going to have super easy access to this restaurant. It's small plates, tapas style. They have amazing cocktails. Ooh, there's the plantain chips with guacamole. That's really delicious. They have some of my favorite things at this restaurant. So when you're living in the Indian Hills, you've got access to the boutiques, the malls, all the grocery shopping, some really delicious restaurants.
One question that people always have is what schools are available to my student if they live in this neighborhood. I know when I relocated to Louisville and started having children, I was very concerned about what public school my child would have the opportunity to go to school to. So I totally get it. If you're new to the area and you're concerned about schools, this is a really important question. So Indian Hills is served by the Jefferson County Public School System. If you're relocating from outside of our area, it's probably a very complicated system to you, but we do not have the traditional neighborhood schooling and school districts. We have one county-wide school district. So I have to emphasize, and I must insist, that you absolutely run each and every address through the website of the JCPS School Finder. I'll make sure to link it in the description below, but you're going to want to run the address to see what school options you are going to have. Generally speaking, for this Indian Hills area, your Reside Elementary School is going to be Dunn Elementary. One of my favorite resources for education is greatschools.org. When we look up Dunn Elementary on greatschools.org, you're going to see that they give it a score of 5 out of 10. Your other elementary school options for public school are going to be some of the other East End schools, which include Chansey, Norton Commons, Norton, Portland, Wilder, and Zachary Taylor Elementary. You're definitely going to want to spend some time researching these elementary schools and understanding how the school system works. If you have more questions, please reach out because I love to help families figure out what school system is going to be the best fit and help them pair that with moving and purchasing a home. Your middle school option is going to be Camer, and then your high school option is going to be Ballard High School. Now, Ballard is a very well-respected high school in the area. Ballard has a great schools rating of 7 out of 10. Now, if you're interested in the private schools, you're also going to be conveniently located to many private schools. A lot of families in this neighborhood will consider Louisville Collegiate School. That is a very highly ranked and quality private school that we have. If you're interested in Montessori type learning, you're not too far from the Walden School, which is located on Westport Road. And then finally, we have a very robust Catholic school system here. So a lot of families in this neighborhood will choose the Catholic school system route. A popular choice for kids living in this neighborhood will be the Holy Spirit School. And then a lot of kids will feed into either Sacred Heart or Trinity because those are the closest Catholic high schools to Indian Hills. If you live in Indian Hills, I'd be curious, how did you sort out the school situation? Comment below and tell us which schools you went to and if you had a good experience. So there are going to be several cons actually to living in the Indian Hills neighborhood. The first one is that it has a higher cost of living. The housing costs are higher, so you are going to have to pay more to get into this exclusive neighborhood. It is going to cost you more, and it won't be affordable for everyone. The next con is the exclusive nature of the neighborhood. This neighborhood is landlocked. There's only so many single family residents that are in the neighborhood, so it's going to be a lot harder for you to actually find a home here.
A lot of times these homes are selling off market, and when they are coming on the market, they sell very quickly. So it's going to be more competitive to get in. The inventory is lower, not only because there's less houses here, but also just because it's more competitive. Another con is that why people really love the tranquil setting of Indian Hills, it's not going to be for everyone. Some of you are going to love more of a city, vibrant, cultural, urban environment. If that's the case, you maybe want to consider some of the neighborhoods in the Highlands that have a higher price point. That's going to be more of like the hustle and bustle city feel. You're going to be able to walk to more restaurants, bars. If you're wanting more of that city type environment, then this neighborhood might not be for you. So I'm going to be honest with you guys, living in Indian Hills is not going to be for everyone. Here in a second, I'm going to tell you some other neighborhoods that you should definitely consider if you are in this price point. But first, before we do that, I want to remind you that I help people like you every single day relocate to Louisville, Kentucky, or move within the Louisville area. And it is my absolute honor and privilege to be able to help people do that. I remember what it was like to relocate here 12 years ago. I was so confused. I was trying to figure out the neighborhoods. Had an acquaintance that lived here in Louisville, and we were on the phone looking at Google Maps, just trying to figure out where in the world, which neighborhood was safe, where I wanted to live. So if you're moving here, I would absolutely love the opportunity to help you. My contact information is below in the description. Please call, text, email me. I have clients like you reaching out every single day when they're needing help making their move to Louisville. If you're looking in this price point and you need a few other neighborhoods to consider, I would definitely check out Glenview, Anchorage, and Prospect. Those are going to be similar price points. Now they all have pros and cons, and if you're trying to figure out which neighborhood is the right fit for you and which ones you should be looking at, please reach out. But until next time, I'll see you later.